But some people fight change tooth and nail. Why? Because there's an emotional part to change that we don't always talk about. See, change is not just I announce something's different, and so it is different. Each of us receive that change in a different way. Some of us get overwhelmed, and we just can't function. We just kind of freeze like a deer in headlights. And we're wondering, and we're fidgeting, we're talking to other people, we're trying to ask, and what do you think about this? I don't think it's the right thing. Has anyone ever done that to you? Not here, of course. No, not here. But when change is announced, we get uncomfortable. We get overwhelmed because there's a level of uncertainty. Because change means, and it's gonna sound super obvious, change means something's new or something's about to be different. And that uncertainty is off-putting. For many of us, it makes us worry a little bit about what am I gonna do? What's in it for me? How's this gonna change me? Because at the end of the day, we're all worried about who? Us. Yeah. That's right, don't step to number 2. And it makes us anxious. That's the worrisome part of it. So change, and this is the part most people miss, the emotional aspect to change. Because as leaders, we come in and say, here's the change. And the funny thing is, as leaders, we've already been processing the change for weeks and possibly months in advance. So now we come and we roll out this change and it's the best thing ever. And we're like, yes, you love it. And then we wonder why we get this tepid response. Why? Why do you think it is?
Not managed, overwhelming.
Yeah, because what we do is we force people into these reactions because we take for granted the time we've already spent working on the change. So now I give it to you, and it's my second month with it. I give it to you today. It's your first minute with it, and I'm expecting you to be super gung-ho. Guess what? It's not going to happen. Yeah. Very small percentage of people are actually going to jump on. Those are your early adopters. I think the number is somewhere like 16% of people are usually early adopters, which means 84% of your workforce is always going to be slow to adopt something new. 16% are early adopters, which leaves 84% wondering what's going to happen. Is 84% more or less than half? Just a little bit more. And see, these are the things that most people don't take into account when they introduce change. There's an emotional part. It really is. We get scared, we get anxious, we get nervous, but guess what? Most of us feel that this is what's going to happen. This is why we get anxious. Anybody know what this is? It is Fabio at Busch Gardens. I'm glad. So you know what ride he's on? Apollo's Chariot. Yep, Apollo's Chariot. Someone told me about this last year. What happened? Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, watch this. Watch this. You see him here, Fabio. He's on Apollo's Chariot. Clearly, he did not want to wear his Apollo. I guess he was Apollo in this whole thing. But he going through the ride, and he gets hit in the face with a bird. Or a bird hits him in the face. I'm pretty sure the bird ended up a lot worse off than he did. But from what I heard, they had to fly in a plastic surgeon, his own personal plastic surgeon from Europe, to get him right again. But see, this is what most people think when change is announced. This is what they think is going to happen to them. They think they're going to hit in the nose. They think they're going to take a blow. They immediately cringe and they retreat to a safe spot. I'm telling you, this is the psychology, just a little bit of the psychology of change. And the funny thing is, even if you don't think you're going to get hit like this guy, maybe you're like this young lady or this young lady. You see what's on them?
What?
Yeah. They may not have been hit, but they're casualties. She's sitting there cracking up, but I think it's more of a disgust. This lady is just like really ill. Ew, right? So this is what most people think of when they think of change. They think that this is what's going to happen to them in the change process. And for most leaders, we just miss it. Because like I said before, we've been focused. We are going to put this change in place. And guess what? By Jiminy, this is the right thing to do. It may be the right thing to do, but if you do the right thing in the wrong way, you get the wrong results.